Every Division II volleyball program across the country had one common goal: to play on this Saturday in Denver for a national championship. We are down to the final two, and they happen to be unbeaten. As you see, the Yotes of CSUSB, they'll be challenged tonight by the Lopers of UNK. Lincoln Rose, along with a woman who knows what it's like to win the final match of the year, back with her Lady Buffs of West Texas A&M, Debbie Hendricks. Debbie, great to have you with us. And again, it's always a date we have circled on our calendar. You and I are fortunate to know in advance we'll be here, but for seniors and these teams, this is always something they fight every day in practice to achieve.
And it's such a special experience for all of us to have two undefeated teams here who have neither one won a national championship. It's just a really special matchup, I think. And, you know, last night we were treated to a great defensive match in our first one, and then in our nightcap it was two really high-powered offenses. Tonight we're looking at a really classic offense versus defense here, and, you know, will the Lopers have enough to slow down the Yotes offense as they pursue a national championship?
You take a look at the fantastic turnout for both the folks who made about a 5.5-hour drive over from Nebraska. Take a look at how things have played out over the last 3 days. It all began in the quarterfinals with a sweep of Malloy for the number 1 seed, CSUSB. They then would be tested by Regis, essentially your hometown team, a 4-set victory, and now again set to square off against the Lopers, who had to get past Gannon on day 1 in 4 sets, and another 4-set battle against Rockhurst, a rematch from earlier this year that again went the way of UNK.
The Lopers' defense has just been able to wear down their first two opponents in this tournament. Last night they had 14 blocks and 92 digs in a 4-set match. It's a 4-set win over Rockhurst. It's going to be the offense ultimately that's going to have to push this thing over the top, I think, if they can wear down the Yotes. But and off the hand of Anna Squires, the daughter of Coach Rick Squires, she led the team with a career-high 19 kills last night and scored the final point of the match. So she just had a huge night. They need another big night from her, as well as the rest of their offensive weapons.
Yeah, that first semifinal yesterday featured the Lopers, ultimately improving to 38-0. You mentioned Anna Squires, your junior middle hitter. Homegrown kid, of course, since Dad is the head coach for over 2 decades now, but setting career highs when it mattered the most.
Yeah, and you were watching a little bit of the defense right here. We talked about 14 blocks. There's one by Squires. Another one by Josie Cox. Both matches in this tournament, they've had 14 blocks. There's Anna Squires, one of her 19 kills on her way to a career high. And as we mentioned, she scored the last point of the match.
And we went from a defensive struggle in the first semifinal to an offensive renaissance. And, of course, it included the National Player of the Year, Alexis Cardoza.
Yeah, the Yotes offense has just been unstoppable. And I felt like last night Alex Cordova just raised her game to another level. But as a team, they've been hitting .368 for the tournament. Also, big effort out of Jalen Hayes. She had 10 kills and hit .421 last night. So the question is, do the Lopers have enough defense to slow down this powerful Yotes offense?
Mentioned one of these two teams not only will be an undefeated champion, but along the way, a first-time national champion. History will be made tonight here in Denver on the campus of MSU Denver. Big thanks to the entire athletic staff who have been fantastic hosts this week for the student athletes and all of us covering this event. About to get underway with the opening frame. I don't know if anybody's tuning in. It feels like everybody is here. Just a fantastic turnout, not just for the folks who had an easy drive across some state borders, but those folks over on the West Coast as well with a nice turnout.
We've got an incredible turnout, and we knew that we would get that from the fans from UNK, but right behind us are quite a few fans pulling for the Yotes, and then you've got some of the locals. So it's a very popular sport here in Denver, and there's some, I know a few of my alumni are sitting right behind me, so great environment for this match.
Cameron Schuler, a freshman from Gretna, Nebraska, will get us started with her serve. It is UNK on the left, CSUSB on the right, and your number 1 seed able to strike first.
That's almost an off-speed shot there for Alexis Cardoza.
Alexis Cardoza, Player of the Year in the CCAA. That's your, again, California Collegiate Athletic Association Your two-time first-team All-American, two-time academic All-American, two-time conference and region player of the year, just a junior. As an error, will give the ball now back over to the Lopers.
Well, and if there's any question whether Cardozo would show up for this tournament, she's averaging 5.6 kills per set, leading the tournament, and 420 hitting percentage for her first two matches.
Anna Squires, the junior, with the serve. Alexis Cardozo from Chino Hills, California, came into this tournament hitting a astounding 339. You mentioned how she's even upped her game. She averages almost 3 digs per set, almost 4.5 kills per set, and somehow she's continued to elevate.
Well, and that's exactly what I would say about her in this tournament. I thought she looked very good on Thursday night, but she looked even better last night against a really good Regis Ranger team. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her even go to another level tonight.
Both these teams went 4 sets yesterday. And a service error will hand the next point over. As winning your own serve has been a struggle here early on in this first frame. They had an answer for Jalen Hayes. Not many teams have, since Hayes has stepped in for the All-American Sasha Dominic, who's unavailable this postseason.
Well, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, both nights, 14 blocks. So the Lopers will slow you down at the net first, and then they'll dig you. They're number 1 in the country on the back row.
Jackson with the serve. Should we just go ahead and fast forward to 24-all here in the first set? Another side out. And they are going to, I believe, sub for Jalen. No, they're going to leave Hayes in to serve. That's what the confusion was. It'll be Maura Hunfola who will come on. And, well, now a game of chess as Anna Squires will sub in on the front.
There's a fair amount of confusion right now, and I think a little bit of it was the delay first by the Yotes getting their substitution in, and then as with the rotation, then UNK wasn't quite ready for their sub.
There are multiple things involved there. We'll pick it apart in a moment. Dig from Jackson. That's your libero again to Omalatai. Ball up into the rafters, comes back down. Squires. Back to the left pin. Another dig for Julianne Jackson, your conference co-player of the year out of the MIAA, and now a net violation.
That was on Anna Squires.
So the Yotes inch back ahead, up 5-4. Here you see Kim Chernus in year number 29 at the helm of CSUSB. Just enough to get it over from Schuler. She's never suffered a loss in her college career.
No. Yeah, and it's interesting. I feel like in the first 2 matches of this tournament, the Lopers have gotten off to kind of a slow offensive start, and they've just worn their opponents down on defense. They're getting off to a pretty good offensive start tonight.
Serve from Maddie Squires, your setter, a third-team All-American this year. That ball is in. Asia Clark hoping to win her serve. Keeps it alive for now. Battle at the net as that ball started to drift. Lopers able to take advantage. Lydia will come off after putting that one away. She's really come on strong as of late, including a all-tournament team honor in the regional last weekend. You can say the same for Jalen Hayes, who steps in at the middle. Again, my offer still stands if you just want to fast forward to 24 points apiece.
I think everyone in this gym, ourselves included, expects this to be a barn burner tonight. I think people are going to get their money's worth out of this match.
And the serve from Anna Squires, first team all-conference. Not the first side out we've seen.
Well, and in the third set last night, the Yotes were siding out at 83%. I mean, that's just a ridiculously high number. So it's going to be important that the Lobers serve tough tonight.
Lopers have read the script. They knew what to do. We are level at 8. Again, UNK was picked to finish second in their conference preseason. They would blow through the MIAA, winning both the regular season and tournament titles, going 20-0 during the regular season schedule. Of course, now 38-0 overall on the year. See if the Lopers can find their first lead. Not here. Jalen Hayes. The San Bernardino native playing for her hometown team.
She's actually first in the tournament with 2 blocks a set. We'll see more of that tonight.
He had 5'10", not the biggest middle blocker you'll see. It just forces her to be even smarter as a player. Got the block there, and it lands in. And here's a commanding 2-point lead now for the Yotes. Cardoza, the first woman to win her own serve. As Wolf slides under the net. Timeout, Rick Squires. Lopers want to talk it over. It is still early, but by the end of tonight, we will crown a first-time national champion in Division II. Lopers call the first timeout now that they trail by 3. Lincoln Rose, Debbie Hendricks with you here in Denver as our third straight day of action here on the campus of MSU Denver and our third straight day of fantastic crowds. You see the folks who made the journey by whether it be car or bus to cheer on the Lopers. Cardoza continues her service. An excellent job getting down to keep that one alive by Schaefer. Not as fortunate that time around. Stephanie Doak.
Well, Squires is staying in to help against Jalen Hayes, and she's leaving her outside hitter all alone. They can't afford to do that. I know they need help with Hayes, but they can't leave either of Doak or Cardoza one-on-one.
We're going to see a rare appearance here from Bailey Sterling up front, the redshirt freshman from Kearney, Nebraska. She started her career at Northern Colorado. Meanwhile, Alexis Cardoza about to qualify for citizenship there behind the service line. There's the first swing from Sterling. Sterling in on the block. Went to Kearney High.
Does a great job of getting your feet there, getting those hands over the net. Hard-working block.
Trailed by 5 a moment ago, back within 4 after that point. Schuler. Simply off the tape and carried long for the error. Kim Chernus's Yotes have only dropped 12 sets. That 12th one was yesterday. 6 of those 12 have been here in the postseason. Squires keeps it playable for Wolf on the back row. Free ball for Kearney. UNK will set Sterling. Bailey Sterling's had the golden touch.
What a nice sub off the bench. Came in and gave her team a couple of kills and a big block.
I mean, has Rick Squires just been sitting on that?
You know, you'd think that guy knows what he's doing.
982 victories as of last night. Can't save that one.
San Bernardino substitutions in a line 14 row. Also Whitley serve number 2.
We'll mention congratulations to our referees who earned the right to work this championship. Luis Martinez up in the stand. Rachel Stringer joins them. Constantly evaluated throughout this week. As Anna Squires puts it away, her sister will step behind the line to serve.
What an interesting and fun story. Rick Squires coaching 2 of his daughters, not 1 but 2 of his daughters in the same season. They've both had a very good tournament.
Maddie's a year older, Maddie who just served, but she's a redshirt junior, so they will get to be seniors together next year. Will they be defending national champions for that senior campaign? They are the second and third daughters that he has coached. Jordan, a former player.
And it was fun to listen to him talk about, the interactions when they come to practice. It's all about business and the job they have to do. But he talked about how nice it is to be able to watch his daughters play. You know, if they were playing somewhere else, he'd have to work hard to fit that in.
He did complain that their father's always hanging around. Oh. Moro Hanfola. That net, her domain. Another look. Squires. Go back to Wolf. MK finds some fingertips. Able to tool it for the point. Back within 4. And she goes right at the National Player of the Year. That's nearly an impossible angle on that ball. Alexis Cardoza just drove that into the sport court floor.
Well, and the Lopers have intentionally lined up Julian Jackson on her, and even as good a blocker as she is, she couldn't do anything about that.
She almost squeezed that one inside the attack line. Wolf into the block, still playable. Jackson. How good have the Lopers been that we haven't talked about Jackson quite as much as a few of her teammates. Wolf again gets the better of the block.
You know, she's been good in this tournament offensively, but she's also been really good on defense. And as a right side, you know, sometimes you're actually subbing in for them, and she made some incredible digs yesterday to extend rallies.
MK with the serve.
Well, the Yotes are getting exactly what they want here. They've got Squires on the front row, and they're getting in one-on-one, and she's even chasing on that block. They're going to be scoring at will if that remains the same.
We had our third ever undefeated national champion in Cedar Rapids for Division III volleyball. We are guaranteed now our third ever Division II undefeated national champion. We just don't know which team it will be. Last time it happened was 10 years ago, 2009, Concordia St. Paul. And here is again your co-player of the year out of the MIAA, Julian Jackson. Over 1,400 career digs, over 1,000 kills, and how about an ace? She in this senior class, 139 victories, only 9 losses over the past 4 years.
Well, this is exactly what the Lopers need to do. They've got to take some chances at the service line, take a little bit of the steam out of this Yotes offense.
Stephanie Doak, senior from San Diego, comes over from Missouri Western this year. Been a difference maker. Flat-footed serve from Hayes. And Doak a little long.
Good eye by the Lopers.
Lindsay Nottleman, sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska. Nobody able to follow up after Nottleman got under that one. Myra Murphy now, one of the seniors for the Yotes, and one of your 2 players on the roster not from the Golden State, Arizona native. No touch of the net, just an error from Doak. See Lelia, one of our 2 standout liberos here tonight.
Yeah, Kim Churnis talked about her in their press conference last night and how, you know, she's a little under, her numbers are a little low because their teams put so much emphasis in terminating the ball early in the rally, and so sometimes she doesn't get the digs per set, but she's an incredible passer and an incredible defensive player and a real threat at the service line.
Well, Kim Churnis wants a timeout. A 4-point lead has been now shaved down to 2 here in the late points of this opening set. And again, what an atmosphere we have for a national championship coronation at the end of today. You see the band for the Lopers. Their cheerleaders made the bus ride out here as well with members of the student body. And of course, the folks who've made the way from the West Coast to cheer on their Yotes as well. We've seen a few fans also stick around who came on to cheer some of the other 6 teams that made their way to Denver this year.
Well, it's been just a great environment for volleyball. Hats off to the staff and administration here at MSU Denver. They really, I mean, this is my institution where I coached for 16 seasons, and I can't believe the transformation of this gym and the locker rooms and all the things they did over the course of the last year to prepare for this tournament. It's really pretty impressive and a real commitment they made to hosting this event.
Again, Rick Squires, your Central Region head coach of the year this year, 21 years at the helm of UNK, 982 victories, some of the most memorable ones with his daughters over the years out there on the court. Both these teams graduated All-Americans last year and somehow found ways to improve this year. Here's the third-team All-American in Maddie Squires. And that's a nice response for the Oats coming out of the timeout from their head coach, Kim Chernus. 29 years for Coach Chernus, 7-time Conference Coach of the Year, 6-time National Coach of the Year. Looking for that national championship. And we spend so much time mentioning M.K. Wolf is the younger sister of former D2 Player of the Year, Annie Wolf. But, of course, there's a good chance people will introduce Annie as the sister of the national champion, M.K.
Well, and they did a nice job of using her not just on the right side, but at the middle of the floor, too. It's a nice, different look.
Cardoza creating chaos. Free ball, and it goes back to Alexis. She wants a touch, and if they don't give it to her on the call, Kim Chernus will challenge. But they do award the touch. And so instead, it's going to be Rick Squires challenging the call. The call is a touch at the net. Line judge overruled, and I think they get M.K. Wolf.
Previous play is now under review.
Well, you've got a few options to see where that ball hit.
If the player was in the net or not.
Well, and even if...
Now, the PA announcer just said they were looking to see whether a player was in the net. That may have been the actual call. So
well,
there are several things that you can go over here that they can look at.
And in this situation, regardless of what was called and what is being challenged, if they find anything else during the course of the play that wasn't caught at game speed, that can actually be ruled upon right here too.
There's three things you could discover: a net call, a touch, or whether the ball may have even been in.
Yeah. That's 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
The other 2 that can be evaluated are back row attack foot faults and service foot faults.
We also have one more angle down the net that they'll have available to them. That would be valuable for 2 of the potential calls. Each coach has 3 challenges available to them that they can use any time through the first 4 sets. If it goes to a 5th set, they will get an additional challenge. And again, right now it's Rachel Stringer taking a look at the monitor, and she's able to request certain angles. I think she's asked for one that's even elevated that we don't have access to, but in venue they do.
Well, and remember, unless it's indisputable evidence, they're going to deem it inconclusive and they'll stay with the play on the floor, or the call on the floor.
And again, the call was in favor of the Yotes. That has them up 23-20 at the moment. I don't think it grazes Wolf. Again, that's thinking as opposed to knowing.
Well, to be honest with you, sometimes when they slow it down, it's almost harder to tell.
The blur, yeah. Well, you're looking for a spin on that ball. We're about to get an answer. That's always the most popular part of a broadcast when the announcers speculate. And they are confirming it went off the shoulder of Wolf. So the point will stay on the board is number 23 for CSUSB.
Well, and if I'm the Yotes, this is who I want back there serving. She's had multiple runs for her team at the service line. Such a very aggressive server.
Leilia's going to have to wait. as Rick Squires, after that challenge, is now going to call a timeout. We saw Lelia yesterday with 3 aces in the first set alone. I believe 4 or 5 aces total for the whole match. She was aggressive and effective.
Well, and that doesn't even address the number of times she gets her opponent out of system. There's no stat for that, and yet she really did give the Regis Rangers fits. And, that's one of the things when Kim Chernis was talking about her. She can be underappreciated or under-recognized because she gets the low digs per set because their team is so terminal. But the one thing that really sticks out is the amount of fits that she gives serve-receive. And so I think she is going up against a really solid serve-receive team. The Lopers average 0.6 reception errors a set. It's a really low number, so she's got her work cut out for her today, getting them out of system.
Again, Maddie, your setter for UNK. We talked about she's a redshirt junior. She started her career in the NAIA at Bellevue in Nebraska. A 2-time NAIA national champion, was also your rookie of the year, freshman of the year, her first year out of high school, but ultimately decided to transfer back home. Joined forces with her sister. To Omalatai with the serve. Squires to Jackson.
Julianne Jackson has been this player for her team all year long. We talked about Anna Squires at the beginning of the show, but Julianne Jackson is the go-to player when their team needs a point the most. Just gave her a little bit of line there, and she took it.
This is her last match as a Loper as a senior, but she will use her remaining NCAA eligibility to play a year of beach volleyball for A&M Kingsville next academic year. Wolf. They shut down Cardozo once. Back to Alexis. And it would have been a kill anyways, but a net call as well. It is set point for CSUSB. Marley Nunley, the freshman, with the serve. It's in. Again, either the freshman on your left or the freshman on your right are going to lose for the first time ever in college, and it's going to end their season. The other freshmen are going to be national champions their first time around. Wolf to serve. It is still set point for the Yotes. The Yotes are now 2 set victories away from their first ever national championship. Set 1 in the books, 25-22. It goes to the number 1 seed from San Bernardino, California. The second chapter in this national championship coming up next here on NCAA.com. Well, the first set falls 25-22 to the number 1 seed, past the number 2 seed. We'll see how the second set shakes out, as it has been players only in that huddle for the Yotes. It gives us a chance to talk about the assistants who have meant so much for these two programs. There you see Kelsey Tolan in the blue blazer. Danny Scott still talking things over, walks into our shot right on cue with head coach Kim Chernis. But great support staff for both these teams. And for the Lopers, you talk about assistant coach Steph Brand. You've got some graduate assistants in Kenzie Crawford and Thiessen Anderson, a student assistant, and Ellie McDonald, all helping out Rick Squires.
I tell you what, the head coaches, they get the credit, but I think both of these head coaches would acknowledge all the tireless effort their assistants give without the credit. We mentioned last night Danny Scott was actually the 2009 Assistant Coach of the Year, National Assistant Coach of the Year. And Kim Chernis can't say enough about, he's not her assistant, he's her co-pilot, and they've been working together for 16 seasons.
Associate head coach.
Yeah, and just a big, big part of their success.
But tip of the hat to both these staffs, as they are the only two coaching staffs still coaching this season in Division II. But I don't know if really any coach for the Yotes ever went into that players-only huddle.
Well, Kim Turnus has been very outspoken about how much she trusts her team and how much they are very self-driven and mature, and she trusts them to kind of take care of their own business at this point.
You know, and I say the exception, kind of a woman who's relegated now to being a coach of sorts, is Sasha Dominique for the Yotes. She has still been an energetic leader for CSUSB, even though she can't compete after they lost her earlier this year, officially in the final of the conference tournament. After the first-team All-American, despite missing the late stretch of the year, was hitting .512.
.512. And about a block and a half a set, 2.5 kills per set. That was a big loss for the Yotes.
If she would just stand at the net, I still think she'd be good for about a block per set. A nice start here for the Lopers, out to an early advantage.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to slow the Yotes down, and getting them a little bit out of system is going to be key. The Yotes hit 302 in that first set.
Squires. Ma'a comes through as the Hawaiian with the dump for the point.
And the Lopers have done a really good job picking up dump in this tournament, but Ma'a was very deceptive about that one.
Again, she came in this year tasked with replacing the All-American setter, DeHoog, who graduated last year.
Well, early on, the Yotes committed to a 6-2. They've got 2 freshman setters, and they basically, I think, wanted to divide the load a little bit, and then also they've got 3 attackers in every single rotation. That's a big defensive assignment for any team that they play.
From the back to Wolf. Ma'a keeps it alive. Third hit will get it over from Cardoza. Jackson. A nice job by Nottleman keeping this rally going. Little roll from Grove. And a big block from Maura Hunfola, but ultimately it'll go wide.
And I liked the tip by Jackson a little earlier in that rally. She put it on the setter, and I think they're always going to have a back row setter. If they're going to tip it on the setter and get the Yotes automatically out of system. That's smart.
Ma'a to Cardoza. Free ball. They went to the right pin that time to Grove. Now to your National Player of the Year. Into the block. Bailey Sterling. Now, I assume she wasn't among the many folks who got off the bus today from Kearney.
Well, and Squires had hands on that too. You know, she's an undersized little setter out there, but she's right now 10th in this conference, in this tournament, with 1.25 blocks per set.
Jackson. Oh, and now you're hearing the voices from the folks who made the trek from Kearney, Nebraska. Kim Turnus wants a timeout. They took the first set, 25-22, but they've only taken 2 of the first 8 points here in the second frame in Denver. Again, Associate Head Coach Danny Scott taking over the huddle here after the timeout called by Kim Chernus. The Yotes are being led by Stephanie Doak with her 8 kills, hitting .312. Cardoza, who's had quite a few swings as well early on, with 7 kills, hitting .353. Julianne Jackson, 6 kills, 5 more for MK Wolf. Right now, these Lopers with Wolf to serve lead 6-2 here in the second set, trailing 1-0. Yotes called that last time out, and the Lopers fans were as loud as we've heard. Now they politely quieted down once the match got back underway.
Well, you know, I've played at UNK many times, and there is a real seventh man there. And even Brady Starkey from Concordia addressed that in his post-match talk after the regional championship. So they've traveled well here.
Sterling into the net. All the players looking over to Kim Chernus just outside your shot. And she gets her front line on the same page. Squires looking for the dump. And a early holiday gift to Alexis Cardoza. No doubt she'll write a thank you letter. Back within 1. A 3-0 run here for the number 1 seed. And it's a brand new set, 6 apiece. How's that for a response coming out of the timeout from Kim Chernus? And now Rick Squires will use a timeout.
Oh my God, Cardoza just bounces this ball. The cover had to be coming off the ball. You know, and they're getting the matchup right now that they want. Her against Squires is not a favorable matchup for UNK.
We'll step aside. Early points here in set number 2, a 4-0 run. Well, it was Rick Squires' bunch that knocked off the last team to go undefeated en route to a national championship. They had to beat Concordia St. Paul in 5 sets last weekend in the regional in Kearney. And that's the response he's hoping for. UNK's last loss was on their home floor is last year in the first round of the NCAA tournament against Harding in a 5-setter. They've now won their last 38 matches. The trail by a set here, and right now have managed to inch back ahead by a point in set number 2.
The Lopers are going to have to serve just a little bit tougher. In system, the Yotes offense is just too good.
Again, Cameron Schuler, such a mature freshman. Talking about how Regis was really such a senior-led group. But plenty of youth on these two teams. The Yotes will take that one.
I mean, yeah, you're looking at the Yotes right now. They have 2 freshman sitters, 2 sophomore middles, Cardoza's just a junior. Ulea's just a junior.
So Malatai, the junior, with the serve. Squires keeps it playable. Block up front from Schuler. And the sister act comes through. Give an assist to Maddie. Anna with the kill. Both of them first team all-conference this year in the MIAA.
Both of these teams are running such good offense and system and creating one-on-one situations a lot of the time. A lot credit on that goes to the setters and the choices they're making.
Almost an overpass. And it does create an issue for the Yotes.
Back row attack there.
So serve continues here for Squires, third team All-American this year. And they'll get a double hit after Jalen Hayes sent it over.
Substitution for San Bernardino. Relive to serve number 2. Also in 14, Relive.
Doak will have to wait for her 10th kill. And back row attack on the Lopers.
Lopers are getting good touches. They're just not in system out of those dig touches as much as they have been in the past.
Back to the serve, Ama'a. Lopers continue to find ways to sneak ahead by a point. This makes it 11-10.
Well, this slide's been effective. Anna Squires is one-on-one.
Ma'a. Doak will tap it over. Wolf looking for space on the back row. Can't find it.
I think she was looking for high hands there, too. It's a tough set. You know, it's a good swing for the Lopers. They're looking at a big block every time. Anytime they can look to use the hands high, probably going to be able to score.
There's Asia Clark, your sophomore outside hitter. Jalen Hayes. Again, they're not just replacing Sasha Dominic, a first-team All-American this year, but last year they graduated the All-American Haley Jackson in the middle. And yet there really has not been a weakness for the Yotes. That's going to carry along as Monique Schaefer able to watch it drop into the blue.
Serving 7, Hannah Squires.
A nice subtle job there by Lelia. Just getting that left arm out. Jackson will put this one away.
That's the swing right there. Not looking to bury the ball, just looking to go high hands off this really big Yotes block.
She had 8 digs, now 8 kills, hitting .333, Julian Jackson tonight. In first set, 25-22 to CSUSB. These are your top 2 seeds as determined by the committee when they reseeded this week. No upsets based on the seeding so far this week, so thus far the committee knows what they are talking about. And of course, you're splitting hairs when you're figuring out which undefeated team has the better resume to be the number 1 seed. But it went to the women from California. Clark denies Jackson the kill for now. as Grove just gets on top of that ball, rolls it into the net.
Well, that's an example of neutralizing the Yotes offense. When they're out of system, they're not nearly the same team. No team is. So, the more Kearney can start to put pressure on them at the service line and get them out of system, or attack the setter's back row and get them touching that first ball so they're out of system, and just the big swings that they're not able to dig to target.
That ball was ruled in. Wow.
I love that serve, serving deep and testing the deep part of the court against the serve receive.
You had a couple of Yotes eyeballing that one, hoping it would drop into that blue abyss. Ma'a sets. And Grove right now just not on speaking terms with that net.
We've seen confusion several times with this Lopers block. That was an open net.
Timeout, Kim Turnus. A great response from her previous timeout, but the Lopers have stayed in there and now built another 3-point lead here in set number 2 of the national championship. A 3-0 run for the Lopers of UNK. A little concern for CSUSB calling that second timeout of the set already here. Wolf delivers to Cardoza, who wants it back. They'll get the Lopers in the net.
The Lopers are doing some things with their block. They're doing some switch blocking, we call, where, for instance, Julian Jackson, she's blocking right when her natural position is left, and they're making some early cheat commits. Some of that does create havoc for the block, but they got to settle in a little bit.
Nunley, the freshman. Jackson. Nice job by Nunley to keep that ball playable for the women on the left in black. And in the end, the punctuation from Murphy.
That's an example right there. That type of rally where the Lopers just dig you and dig you and dig you, that's how they wear attackers down, but they're not able to wear down the Yotes. They're staying patient and waiting for the right swing.
So the serve for Nunley continues. They've won their last 2 points. Trying to erase the 3-point deficit. It's a brand new set at 16.
Too good.
And a double.
That's a pretty tight call, and I think that probably that's indicative of what we've seen for most of this tournament. It's been fairly tight ball handling, and at least with this official, I think he's been consistent about it and will stay so.
Well, again, Luis Martinez, our up official, the referee across the way, it was the highest graded official this week. The reason why he and Stringer are working this match. Cardoza denied. The block from Schuler, the freshman, not impressed. You've got two freshmen at the net right now for UNK, along with Josie Cox, the senior. Well, of all things, the Lopers somehow were able to dig the shot from Cardoza a moment ago, but then that one gets down.
Well, Maddie Squires was out, and so I think there's just a lack of vocal leadership out there on who's going to take that ball. That's unfortunate because two huge digs by the Lopers in that rally.
Alexis Cardoza is going to have to ice that shoulder at the end of tonight. She hopes with a trophy in the other arm. She has been swinging. They'll deny Doak. Lopers still with a lead. Both fan bases ready to erupt. And the catharsis belongs to the Yotes fan base. 18 apiece.
This is just ridiculously good volleyball. And again, I go back to the fact the Lopers are digging and digging and digging, but the Yotes are not becoming frustrated. They're waiting until they can take the swing for kill.
Who will be the first to 19? Morrow Hunfola had a lot of real estate to work with on that back row. It's now Rick Squires calling the timeout, as a 3-point lead has evaporated and turned into a deficit here late in set number 2. Alexis Cardoza, 12 kills now, hitting .370 in the national championship for Kim Chernus' squad, as her women are on a 3-0 run to reclaim a lead late here in set number 2, already claiming the first set 25-22. Sterling. Too much to ask of Cardoza on the back row.
Substitution. Nebraska-Kearney set to serve number 9, Emma Benton.
So for UNK, Emma Benton with the serve. Well, another one of these seniors playing in her home state in Nebraska throughout her college career. And it's all about timing.
Well, again, the Lopers have done a great job all tournament defending the dump, but this one just deceptive enough, and they're caught flat-footed. And when it's back row setters, you're not quite as ready for the dump.
So Nunley gets the point. Some last-minute instruction from the bench for CSUSB. Squires denied, but in or out, they will say it is in. Oh, all of a sudden, the Yotes with a 2-point lead here, 21-19. Squires had the right idea, just guided it a little too far.
Well, and hats off to the Lopers. They've been handling the serve of Lelia really well tonight.
Substitution.
We'll see Sammy Mock come on, redshirt freshman who had to sit out last year with injury. Serve from Toa Malatai. They go to Mock. Net violation either way. Point for the Lopers. They're back within 2.
Serving number 6, Madison Squires.
See if the Lopers can put together a run. Chance to tie here at 22. Doak denied. Block up front.
It's interesting. The Yotes have been so patient in the longer rallies, and they're a team that has a lot of urgency in getting kills early in the rally, and yet they've had 2 errors here back to back. I think a little bit is rushing to try to score.
MK Wolf with the block. But the Yotes find a way. Now 2 points shy of a 2-0 lead.
Jalen Hayes has been so good when she's one-on-one. Entire tournament.
Hanama'a. Block, and now let's see if they challenge whether there's a touch by the Lopers before that ball went out. Right now, that is Lopers' point.
This is a really critical juncture, so no doubt I think there's going to be a challenge.
If it's overturned, it's set point. And Kim Turnus will reach for that card. So the original call, the Lopers able to tool the block to level it at 23. Kim Turnus' student athletes insist that that ball bit a Loper on its way back down, in which case 24-22. We'll let you decide. Off the tape. Won't be able to tell there.
Help, no.
And the question is, does it hit Mock back on the way down on her left side? See if this is obscured or not.
That's blocked by.
They want it off her left upper arm.
Grove's in the way of our view there. And they do have a few extra angles beyond what we have here, but at this point I don't see anything that is conclusive enough to overturn the call.
Hayes does in fact block that. That ball is not just off the tape. And we're showing you all of our angles. They do have a couple more. I don't think you're going to see the arm here. At the moment, it's 23-all. Lopers getting that last point. We're about to have the announcement. But we did not see anything to overturn it.
And the ruling is it was inconclusive, so the play will stand.
It's worth a challenge. Next point sets up set point for one of these two teams. And it will be UNK serving for a tie, one set apiece.
A little bit of a tentative swing here by Doak.
Set point, Lopers. It's in. There will be no sweep in the national championship. We are tied 1 set apiece. The top 2 seeds this week make their way to this final day. When we come back, set number 3, one of these 2 teams will be a little closer to the confetti in that first ever national championship. After dropping the first set 25-22, Lopers come back to take the second set 25-23. As they are the first to break their huddle, hoping to carry some of that momentum into a critical third set here. One of these 2 teams just 2 set victories away from that first ever national championship. Will it be a family affair in Kearney, Nebraska? Or will this trophy head out west to San Bernardino? 2 coaches that have been at their institutions for a combined 50 years.
You know what is probably hard for the average viewer to recognize is how many adjustments and counter adjustments these coaches are making. You know, I mentioned earlier Rick Squires came out with taking some risks blocking. I think they've settled into a little bit more traditional blocking right now and having some success with it. But these coaches are going to be game planning and scheming till the very end of this match.
Jalen Hayes, I don't care what your scheme is, you aren't going to block that one. Hayes with the serve. No surprise, we're trading points early. It's a match where Alexis Cardoza has 12 kills, 10 from Doak for CSUSB. Julianne Jackson's leading the way with 8 kills for UNK. Go with her 8 digs. Serve here from Schuler. That's one Conference Player of the Year, shutting down another. Jackson a little long. And they're going to give her a touch. So Jackson with the kill.
Now my instinct is this won't get challenged simply because
so early.
It's so early, and you know we know this is going to be a tight match, so Coach Turnus has got to hold on to those.
Now, of course, the value of a point is the same early in a match or late in a match, but you just feel like you'll get a better sense of how it's all going to play out later on.
Well, that challenge at the end of the second set turned out to be huge.
Yeah, unsuccessful. Jackson on the left pin this time. That means Cardoza has some new faces to stare at. Her 13th.
And that's what Cardoza does so well. You know, in system, a lot of outside attackers can be really aggressive, but that's a really out-of-system swing she's taking here. This is the tough swing, and yet she puts such good pace and good location on it. She scores at will out of system.
Jackson into the block. Will pick up the point for her Lopers. Back within 1. And this time it's the Yotes able to tool it.
With the kill, substitution lineup number 9, Stephanie Cook. Serving 3.
Be tough to recover this one, but they do. Oh, forgive me for doubting you, Miss Schaefer. Squires, that ball started to drift towards the tape. She wasn't sure how to play it.
Tough ball.
Monique Schaefer, though, earlier on that rally, almost had to be credentialed to play that ball a moment ago. Going over towards the media table. But in the end, it fell for the Yotes. Wolf again. Back within 2.
Squires is really doing a great job of seeing the block and knowing where she can get her hitters into one-on-one situations.
Just the second service error from the Lopers tonight. Block from Hayes. And just not enough behind it from Sterling, with Hayes still having her presence felt. Well, after the Lopers took set 2 in a tight one, they have been doubled up here early by CSUSB. You are watching the third set. We are entering the home stretch of the national championship. Number 1 seed, the Coyotes of Cal State San Bernardino, the Yotes of CSUSB right now leading 8-4 here in this third set after seeing that second set slip away. We're in no rush. So Malatai with the error on the serve.
Coach Turnus talked about they allow her to step back there, take a couple of extra steps back and just rip serve. They know it's a high risk, high reward situation, but they trust her with it. They know she's going to make a few mistakes.
That's another ball that Marley Nunley salvages to set up an easy kill. We saw Squires struggle a little bit earlier at the net on a similar ball. When it gets tight.
Well, both of these setters are just so solid. To be freshmen, they do not play like freshmen.
As Schuler with the kill. That's her 5th. hitting .444 here on the big stage. Serve for Benton.
Good transition defense right there. Very few balls hit the floor without being challenged by the Lopers. I mean, they really do play relentless defense, and that's an intentional contact there, allowing them to run quick middle.
Anna Squires hitting at .500 now. As a couple Lopers lock eyes and see that ball drop. A point for the Yotes. CSUSB 20 straight NCAA tournament appearances. 21 straight for UNK, and yet here they finally are playing on the last day. We have seen the Yotes finish as national runner-up as recently as 2011. Before that, 2008. Obviously, completely different makeup for those teams. The Lopers were your national runner-up back in '05. That was the last time they made it to this national weekend. Josie Cox come on now for MK Wolf.
She's played middle most of this tournament. I think she's going to play on the right here. Maybe looking for a little bigger block.
Yeah, that's where Cardoza is.
Yep.
How'd that pan out?
Well, she's a little late. And actually, as MK Wolf comes in, she was talking in the press conference about the fact that one of the things their team does really well is tag a lot of balls, which means at the net they may not block the ball, but they slow the ball down, and it creates kind of a free ball opportunity for their defensive transition.
Wolf, who just came back in, wanted a touch, and they will get the touch. Set number 3 of the Division II National Championship. We're looking at the Lopers of UNK, the number 2 seed with a modest record of 38 wins and 0 losses. They'll be disappointed if it's not 39-0. But they're up against a team that also has not been handed a loss since last year's regional final at Western Washington, a 5-set loss for the Yotes last year. Out west. An ace.
And that is something you do not see too often with this Loper team.
Just the second ace for the Yotes today. Jackson full speed ahead, right down the line.
Great response by Nodelman there. You know, she got aced and then comes back with a 3-option pass.
Mentioned Anna's hitting .500. She has the serve here.
I know these are tough to see, but I think the serving philosophy has to be aggressive for these Lopers. They've got to get the Yotes out of system. So far, Coach Squires doesn't seem frustrated by the errors.
Stephanie Doak. Timeout, Lopers. UNK trails by 6 midway through this critical third set in Denver. Well, both these teams are missing their preferred middles. We mentioned Sasha Dominique, the All-American for the Yotes, and there you see Michaela Bartles, just a freshman from Bennington, Nebraska, but claimed second-team All-Conference honors this year, beat out some seniors for that starting middle job. And ultimately, they would lose her on the first set of the Central Regional Final against Concordia St. Paul. They still found a way to win in 5, but she steps out, and a couple of the elder statesmen have stepped up brilliantly in the middle for the Lopers here in Denver.
Yeah, we've seen some Josie Cox and Mackenzie Puckett, and tonight we're seeing a little bit out of Bailey Sterling. And I think they've been just piecing it together. They're big shoes to fill, but I think some of these gals have really done a nice job stepping in and holding down the fort in the middle.
We'll go back to Jackson. It's a 3-0 run right now for the Yotes, and now make it a 4-0 run with the net violation. I think they have Sterling there with her elbow.
Yeah, on the way down.
That was about as big of a discrepancy as we have seen between these two teams so far tonight. First two sets, 25-22, 25-23. See if the Lopers with Wolf serving can put together a run. I don't know if her fans are howling like Lopers or Wolves. Left pin, Doak. Stephanie Doak, senior, trying to go out in style with her new teammates this year.
Well, and regardless of whether it's Doak or it's Cardoza, this matchup against Squires is a favorable one for the Yotes.
Well, when you can hit a line judge, sometimes you get the call.
And again, that one-on-one situation. It's a mismatch. Hey, Squires gets involved on that. Setters are so instinctive. I know sometimes they're not, they're undersized blockers, but they're really instinctive blockers a lot of the time. Great heads-up play there.
Still playable. The 34th attack already from Stephanie Doak. The Lopers finally found an answer.
The high swings on the block are scoring.
Diving recovery by Schuler. Jackson into the net. She had Jalen Hayes to contend with. Hayes tonight, part of 4 blocks. Ma'a, a let serve. As Grove a little long.
Grove's had a little bit of trouble with the out-of-system balls tonight. Just a tough swing here.
Just 2 kills on 11 attacks. Back within 6. Still some work to be done. Cannot simply trade points here down the stretch.
This is a nice stop. It was a free ball they gave the Yotes. Good block stop.
And Maddie Squires, another block in the net. And there's no play for the Yotes to make. They were just hoping that ball would carry wide. And now they're 3 points away from heading into a potential closeout fourth set. Anna Squires comes through. Her 7th kill. She's hitting about 500 now. I see Sammy Mock come on for Wolf at the net.
Coach Squires is using quite a few different player personnel to piece this thing together tonight.
But a gift wrap point to the Yotes, who have quite the cushion here down the stretch. Hayes. Set point for CSUSB. Looking to go up 2-1. A nice serve from Hayes. Squires, though, will pull it back. Again, it remains set point. Yotes have quite the cushion. Can the Lopers stay composed and chip away?
If nothing else, they want to gain a little momentum going into the fourth set.
National Player of the Year. Back to Cardoza. Two sets to one. And the Yotes of CSUSB and their fan base are possibly 1 set away, 25 points away from being number one here in 2019. Welcome back to Denver here on the campus of MSU Denver. Lincoln Rose, Debbie Hendricks with you. 3 sets in, and either 1 or 2 sets remain here in 2019 as Kim Chernus's women came back from dropping that second set 25-23 to pull away in the third set 25-17.
You know, Kim Chernus has spoken here about the fact that early in the preseason, they put it out there, their intention of being here in this tournament and going for a national championship. And a lot of times teams will keep their goals to themselves, but they elected this year to make themselves vulnerable and be very vocal about it. And what they found through the course of the season is it held them accountable to that goal. And at times when maybe they could have let up or become unfocused, that's what they used to refocus. So they took a little different approach this year, and right now it looks like it's paying off.
Her peers have voted her team the number 1 team in the nation for the past 2.5 months in the ABCA poll. Again, we're guaranteed an undefeated national champ. Just don't know which shade of blue that will be. Mentioned Division III had an undefeated champion for the 3rd time ever in Johns Hopkins, even though their roster only had 10 players available, and by the end of the match, just 9. This ball hits off the basketball backboard, still playable. Of course, Division I, there will be no undefeated champ. Number 1 national seed Baylor has moved on to Pittsburgh. They just have 1 loss. That's as good as it gets. But one of these two teams will finish with a 0 in the loss column and a number 1 next to their name. Squires and the Lopers. We'll see Hayes level this 1 point apiece. Hayes, 5 kills, has been a part of 4 blocks tonight. Squires able to find some open space right in the heart of the defense.
Well, she's been taking big swings all night. It was a good time to come in with some off speed and mix it up a little.
It's a match where the Lopers are hitting $1.84 right now. The defense will now give them a 2-point lead. Another tight one. Ma'a did her best to keep it playable, and then that ball goes skyward. Well, what if the Lopers could somehow find a way to sail through this critical 4th set and force that sprint to 15 in set number 5? Obviously, we call this a must-win set for UNK, but when you're a team that's up 2-1, you have to treat it like a must-win set as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you could even tell the urgency as the coaching staff and the players from CSUSB came to the side. They are demanding no letdown at all, because you go 5 and anything can happen.
Yeah, that 5th set being a 1st to 15, they can get away from you quickly. And you would not be the team carrying the momentum into that set. Squires, motivated.
Both of these teams have been able to use their middles quite a bit. And that's opening things up for the outsides, but they keep coming back to Squires, and when they get that one-on-one, she's terminal.
Both teams with just a couple of aces so far tonight. Lopers 5 service errors. No mistake here. And the block pays off from Lydia. Back to the service of Cardoza, has one of those 2 aces. It is George weather in Denver. Battle at the net, it carries over. Doak. Stephanie Doak, 16 kills. The only woman who has more is her own teammate, Cardozo, with 17. They'll give the point back. Seventeen kills.
Well, this CSUSB offense is pretty balanced, but tonight they've really relied on the outsides, and they come back to the middle and the right side just enough to mix it up and keep the block honest, but the outsides are carrying a heavy load.
Serve from Ma'a, again, the redshirt freshman. That ball could not quite get down. Lopers are suggesting they would like for their head coach to challenge. And trailing 2-1, they will.
Well, it's going to be a close one.
Previous play is now under review. Nebraska-Kearney is challenging that the ball was in.
Saw that third set slip away, 25-17, but had been in the driver's seat much of this set until this, at the moment, has it level at 7. It's called out.
Well, and on this, we saw a great example of how coaches rely on their players for feedback as to whether to use the challenge or not. You know, I mean, they don't always follow what the players are suggesting, but this is kind of a tougher one for the team to have the best angle on, but he did rely on their feedback as to whether to use the challenge or not.
Now, we slow it down, and it appears to be on the line, but we don't know for sure that the ball is down at that point. I will say, you talk about relying on your players. It's a lot more reliable when a player says, I did touch it or I didn't touch it, as opposed to what they saw.
Well, and they're across the court. So, I mean, the one with the best angle right here is this line judge. And he's got eyes on it.
Credit our line judges, Don Pemberton and Anthony Buller, working tonight's championship match, along with Luis Martinez and Rachel Stringer. Rachel with the final decision here on the review. We'll see if the challenge for Rick Squires pays off. The ball is ruled in, a successful challenge.
Well, I have to say that it's been a tough tournament for the Yotes as far as challenges. I think they've lost about every challenge, or it's gone not in their favor.
So instead of 7-all, it's a 2-point lead for UNK in a must-win set number 4. It'll be followed by a must-win set number 5. Doak. And they will say Jackson did get underneath that ball in time, but nobody there for a third hit.
Well, that's what championship level teams do, is they respond. They didn't get what they want. Little adversity, just respond with a point.
If you are playing on the final day, you've had some sets not go your way, and yet you bounce back the next set. You've been tested, and you almost feel like you're a team of destiny. I assume we had 8 teams arrive in Denver feeling they were teams of destiny, but the nature of a tournament, only one team can prevail with that trophy. And ace here does level it now for the Yotes. Another fantastic serve. And it's got defense backing it up. Jalen Hayes gives CSUSB the lead.
Just great control with her hands.
But from Clark, after an ace a couple points ago, the service error there.
You know, to your point about adversity, both of these teams are coming from extremely tough conferences and tough regions. They wouldn't be here and remain undefeated unless they can deal with adversity.
Both teams played 5-setters a week ago in the regional final to punch their ticket to Denver. Anna Squires in the defense firing the Lopers up. They're back up now 10-9. Make it 18th kill for Cardoza. She matches the 18 of Stephanie Doak. That's 2 of the last 3 points that they have handed over on a service error.
Well, I don't see any response from Kim Chernus. I think she wants them to keep the pedal down and stay aggressive, and if it costs a few errors, it costs a few errors.
A nice stab by Toa Malatai.
Substitution for St. Bernardino into the lineup for Marley Dunn.
Another look as we're level at 11 now.
Murphy into the Lopers 17. Mo Sheeper.
Nunley. And a double call.
Well, that's a tough one, but you know, these are setters that are not going to bump set. They are going to work hard to get their hands on the ball and set their attackers. Seeing just a small breakdown in serve receive for the Yotes. What we've seen throughout this tournament is these are very short lapses.
Serve continues here for Anna. Almost kept it going.
That's what the Lopers do. They make you work very hard to score. They're going to read well, and they're going to get a ton of touches.
Alexis Cardoza looks over to her coaches before her serve. Wolf finds some hands, back up by 2.
The majority of the Lopers' success tonight has come from taking swings like this, high on the block, tooling the block, or swinging high line, using the hands. They've not been able to go through this block.
"19 kills for Doak. She'll be rejoined by Hayes up front, along with Murphy. Serve here for To'o Malatai. Nice recovery for Jackson, did what she could. Back to Julianne. And into the net goes Hayes.
Little break here for the Lopers. Such an aggressive block. Every now and then you're going to get the net.
That poor net is going to have a lot of scissors taken to it within the next half hour or so. They might have a little longer to go. Hayes cleans things up. No net that time.
This is what I think shows you championship level from both teams. After an error, come right back and earn your team a point. We've seen great responses by both of these teams throughout the tournament.
Back to Mock. Into the tape. 4-hit violation. We are level at 15. The Yotes have battled back.
Squires is continuing to use a variety of player personnel out there.
Wow. What a point. Not only the effort from UNK, but then the response. Novelman got down just to keep that point alive. But it would fall for the Yotes. They'll go back to Doak on that left pin. Grove with the block, but this rally continues. Denied by Josie Cox. That net shaking. They wanted to call on the Lopers. It's a moot point now. And what a turnaround here for the Yotes, and that's going to force a timeout for UNK. Their season on the line, a must-win set, but these women from San Bernardino have battled back to a 2-point lead late and a potential closeout for the Lopers have seen the last 4 points fall to the Yotes. And along the way, a 2-point lead has turned into a 2-point deficit, already trailing by a set.
I will remind you, however, they've seen themselves in some pretty deep holes and found a way out. They are a gritty team.
Too much to ask from Ma'a there. Keep it on their side. That'll snap a 4-0 run. And now the Lopers can level it at 17. The serve from Nodelman. Second team all-conference in the MIAA this year. The sophomore libero.
We probably haven't talked about either one of the liberos as much as we should have tonight because they make it look so easy what they do. Just like Jalen Hayes make that look easy.
Little slide there from Squires. Both the sisters at the net. Grove started her career D1 at UC Riverside in her backyard of Riverside, California. But she has her Yotes within 6 points of a national championship, and understandably a timeout from Rick Squires and UNK. You're watching the Division II Volleyball National Championship here. Eight teams arrived in Denver this week who, as much success as they had never won a national championship. That included our top 2 seeds, a couple of undefeated programs this year. These Yotes of CSUSB and the Lopers of UNK. There you see the fan base cheering on the women from the West Coast. One of them will claim that first ever national title in volleyball. Squires into the block. 5 points away. Jalen Hayes, a part of her 7th block tonight. This time able to find the floor.
Well, it's really good news for the Lopers right now. They rotate Maddie Squires to the back row, so they're back into their 6-2 rotation. So it's an easier blocking assignment for the Yotes when the Lopers are in a 5-1.
Down by 3. Speaking of number 3, 19th kill for Cardoza. Mock. It's all Squires. Anna to Maddie to Anna. Lopers back within 3. Need to go on a run here with the service. Wolf rolls it over. Grove is long. Lopers back within 2. Kim Turnus says, I'll take one, meaning a timeout. They lead 2-1 in the national championship game. When you're tallying up sets, they're closing in on that 3rd set, but UNK not going away easy. With a lead still intact here in this 4th set, Kim Turnus wanted to help settle down the Yotes. Still a 2-point lead and a closeout 4th set. See these Lopers, they've been so well balanced as a team all year, including tonight. 3 different Lopers in double digits in kills. Schuler is right there knocking on the door with 8 as well. Grove with the kill. And along the way, To'o Malatai with her 25th dig.
MK Wolf came in to help in the middle and left the right side of the floor wide open. They were guessing on that block and guessed wrong. Good setting.
Marley Nunley with the serve. She has 32 assists tonight with 8 digs. Got a touch of To'o Malatai.
Squires just runs a little wide of middle of the floor to create that opportunity for herself.
Anna Squires tied for the team lead with 12 kills tonight, hitting .455 in the national championship this evening. 20 kills, though, from Cardoza.
Cardozo's got 4 big hands in front of her right here, but it just doesn't matter. She's so good.
2 points away. Doak was looking for her 20th kill. Off the Raptors, still playable, legal for the Lopers, stayed on their side. No surprise, Nottman with the answer defensively. It found a way down. Myra Murphy puts an end to the madness. It is match point for the national championship. And you have your National Player of the Year with the serve. (33-0). Perfection for the Yotes of CSUSB. Your 2019 national champions. Just the 3rd undefeated run in D2 history. And for their opposition, the Lopers, 38-1. The final point of the year falls for the women from San Bernardino.
Just an offense that's just been so good all year long, and they came through big time tonight. You know, this is a tough one to see a team lose because they have been really, really good teams all season long, but at the end of the day, this offense of the Yotes is just too much for probably one of the highest level defenses in the country.
Well, what a 3 days here in Denver. We knew we would have a first-time national champion, and as of last night, we knew we would have an undefeated national champion. Again, at 33-0, your champions out of the California Collegiate Athletic Association, the CCAA. Not only your regional champions out of the West, but now your national champions. And soon enough, the ceremony here in Denver. Again, Lincoln Rose, Debbie Hendricks with you, along with our NCAA.com crew. Big thanks to our entire crew here this week in Denver, and of course, the host at MSU Denver. But Debbie, this one did not disappoint. 2 fantastic teams. It's been fun to watch all season, and particularly this week with so much on the line.
And both teams played well for 3 days. And, we kind of proclaimed the Lopers the defensive team of the tournament. And yet tonight, the Yotes had some pretty tough defense themselves, and ultimately they were the bigger offensive powerhouse. But, this was all you could ask for in a national championship match.
Her 29th year was the one that secured the national championship for CSUSB. Well, again, for Debbie Hendricks, I'm Lincoln Rose. On behalf of our NCAA.com crew, we will step aside and let you take in the final moments of this 2019 volleyball season with some well-recognized student athletes, and, of course, capped off by a little bit of a celebration as your 2019 national champions are the Yotes of CSUSB. They take their first title back to San Bernardino.
these presentations from the NCAA committee, Josh Collins. The University of Nebraska-Kearney, Lindsay Novelham. Sarah Britton. Cameron Schuler. Madison Squires. Anna Squires. Josie Cox. Emma Benton. Julian Jackson. Mackenzie Puckett. Gracie Stanicky. Sammy Walk. Mo Schaefer. Mary Catherine Wolf. Michaela Bartles. Madison Stearns. Bailey Sterling. Taylor McNair. Graduate Assistant Kenzie Crawford. Assistant Coach Stephanie Brandt. And Head Coach Rick Squires. Congratulations once again to the Lopers of Nebraska-Kearney. And now, let's recognize the team from Cal State San Bernardino. Laura Murphy. Nehana Maha. Alexis Cardoza. Marlene Nutley. Kaylee Scott. Lydia Moro Hanfola. Isha Clark. Stephanie Duff. Diana Miley. Adriana Boone-Rostro. Sasha Dominic. Leivia Toho Malata. Michaela Grove. Johanna Lamarica. Jalen Hayes. Trainer Pat Walsh. Chelsea Herman. Assistant Coach Kelsey Tolan. Assistant Coach Bailey Scott. And Head Coach Kim Chernus. And now the presentation of the National Championship Trophy for the captains from Cal State San Bernardino. Make your way to accept the National Championship Team Trophy. Congratulations, Cal State San Bernardino. The 2019 NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball National Championship. And now we're going to have the moving of the National Championship team name onto the banner placed at the 10-foot.